Oh boy. Hey everybody, Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Shouts out to Chaos Rain for having me on the panel. We were joined by BGS. Um, talking about Rebecca Lynn Pope getting to the divestment game. She's up there telling black women to divest, expand your options. It's so lame. It's like it's getting to the point where that we can see a mile away. You're trying to get to the money grab, and I get that you want women to expand their horizon, but but again, you're putting all the emphasis on marriage. Marriage ain't gonna solve nothing because again, we have all this education. What's good is the education if your mentality is fucked up? With all this education that you have, your mentality is still fucked up. You're talking about being a partner. And like I told Chaos, that comes from the LBTGQ because they couldn't call themselves husband and wife because it's two men and two women. So what they gotta call themselves? Partners, lovers. Because they couldn't take husband and wife, spouse. So we're taking on that talking points. And then you're trying to bring it to these other groups of men who believe in patriarchy. How is that going to work? Now, me, I'm not against education, but education is not the be all end all to everything because we got better education. Most of black men are in prison. No, by the stats, there are more black men in college than there are in prison. So if you wanted to get with a black man, the best time would be in college. But she ain't talking about that. Oh, they all lonely and depressed. They want a soft life. Well, ask those white women how soft their lives were for the past 50, 60 years with the whole feminism thing. Um, how they were taken care of, and they still had an issue with it. This is history. This is not. You don't see these white women trying to fight to get back to the home. They trying to get they like fuck it, we out of here. But you got these women who think marriage is the be all end all, but you can't if you're not mentally sound. Marriage is not going to help you. It's just not because a lot of these who preach divestment and if you divest and everything's going to be brought, they don't bring up the fact that one, your mentality has to be right. Because I keep hearing, well, they want to get with black men because they black. Well, number one, your mind's already wrong for being with a black man because he's black. Be with a black man because he's going to do right by you. So already out the bat, you were wrong. Now you're gonna run to these other races of men because they not black. So you're doing the same thing that you were doing with the black man, except now you're doing with the white man. Your mentality ain't right. Then, you know, they were talking about competing. Well, we don't want to compete for your men. Well, if you're going outside your race, you're going to compete for those men. And you're not just competing with other black women. You're also competing with white women, Asian women, all these other races of women that you're gonna have to compete to get to those men as well. So either way, you're not gonna run out there and not compete, so to speak. You're still gonna compete regardless. But you don't need to obsess over it. That's the big, don't obsess over it. But if you're gonna go to these other races, your mentality got to be right. You should be looking for a husband. He's going to be a leader to you, not some partner. Like I've never, when I was married, I didn't hear no partner. I was her husband. I was her leader, and my father-in-law put that in my head. No, you're her leader. So you're already mentally lost with the whole you're just going to get them because they're not black. Then you're talking about their partner when their husband's supposed to be a leader. He even says in the if you're going by the Bible, the husband is the leader. So already you're out of pocket before you walk in the door, and you talking about going to other races men who are still following some form of patriarchy. Good luck with that. And it's funny she's pushing this whole thing about divesting. That you black women had always had access to other races of men, always, because black men couldn't stop them. Like BJS and me and Kay said, we could not stop you from dating other races of men. Hell, we couldn't even stop them from, well, white men particularly, from raping you. We couldn't stop it. And then we had to be the stepfather of these children. Okay, so again, black men haven't been able to stop you from dating out. Those men had access to you all the time. So what is the issue? And again, I think Ms. Pope forgetting the one issue that they keep forgetting, that they keep circumventing, is desire. That is the main thing that black women have for black men is the desire. They may not like their lifestyle, they may not like some of the things that these guys have done, but they still desire them. It's kind of a love hate relationship in the sense that they 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 hate the light, they hate them, but they desire them. They have to. They're sexually attracted to them. So if you want any of this, where these black women are going to go out and date and be with these other races of men, the biggest thing you're gonna have to fix is their desire for black men, and that's something you're not gonna be able to fix. You're just not gonna fix that anytime soon. I mean, you've had black women who are studs still banging black men. You got black women who are being escorts for a bunch of white dudes, being sugar babies for a lot of white dudes, but they still banging black men. I know. I be in those circles. So if you're gonna keep pushing it, well, you're gonna have to deal with that. Oh, they ain't no eligible black men. Well, ain't like that many eligible black women either. Because even with the education and the money, your mentality is off. And that's something you're gonna have to fix before you even think about getting into another relationship. I don't care if it's a black man or not. So Miss Pope, you worrying about them trying to be married. No, you should be worrying about their mental health. That is the biggest problem with black women, is their mental health that you should be focused on. Running over to the white man when your mental health ain't right, that's a recipe for disaster. You're gonna end up like Candace Owens. Look how she acting a crazy fool and turning against black people, trolling them. She ain't no different than a fucking Nick Fuentes. So I mean, good luck to you. Good luck with that. But I get it. You know, she's trying to get into that divestment money because that is on the rise. You know, with the whole thing with Kevin again, because when Kevin started rising, that's when this divestment thing started going up. You had a bunch of black men, black women getting on this the divestment kick. You know, the honest truth made it. I mean, got real big over it until we found out he couldn't protect the fly. He had Jerome Whiteside was trying to get on it. That didn't work for him. You had Taz and Nyla try to get on it. Then they found out their history, and that didn't fly. Then Cynthia G started getting on it. Now it kind of worked for her. Her subscriber count went up. She got up to 100,000 when she was kind of like dead in the water. So I mean, the divestment thing is profitable. I mean, let's face it, it's profitable. And but I just again same with Miss Pope, you're not focusing on the real issue. Is that their mental health is the biggest problem. They're not going into it trying to find a decent man. They're going into it because they just want to run from black men. And if you're thinking that that's going to help you, it's not. The same with the black men running over there too. Well, if I can't, these black women acting crazy, let me go overseas. Let me get with these white people. That ain't gonna work. Your mind ain't right. Because you're running into people who have their own issues, and you're gonna run, and you have your own issues. Now you're bringing both of your issues together. Good luck with that. So I mean, it's a money grab and attention grab. Oh, I know it's gonna be controversial. I'm like, no, it's lame. It's only controversial to people who are lame. To people who have some sense, this ain't controversial. Everybody can see what it is. You're trying to get a money grab. And this is the same lady was like, I'm done matchmaking black women. Now I'm gonna matchmake other races of men to get with black women. They don't need you. I got African co-workers, African male co-workers dating black women. And there was some white dudes who dating black women. They don't need you to get with black women. They don't. If they want a black woman, they'll get one. The issue is most of them don't want you like that. They don't want black women like that. I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you. Nice try though, but it don't work. Because a lot of them don't want you like that. And and like I said, bring up the stat that black women and white men in particular, their marriage lasts the longest. That is true. The issue is getting to marriage. Meanwhile, black men and white women get to marriage quicker. Now, they get divorced quicker, but they get to marriage quicker. And if you look at it realistically, men are going to get to marriage quicker than women because they're the one asking. So, but at the end of the day, you're not getting married like that. Still like 14, 15% when it was now it doubled because there's this big push in the media to have these interracial relationships. At first it was black men and white women. Now it's black women and white men and black women and other races of men. And I, at the point, I'm like, it's just silly because they know that the reality is a lot of black women are not attracted to these other races of men like that. They're going over there primarily for safety and security and resources, but they're not really attracted to them like that. Because again, if these divestors really were about it, you still wouldn't be in black spaces. You wouldn't even care what black men are doing. You would be divested away from black people. You would not give a fuck what black people are doing. But they still care. So like I said, with what Pope is doing, it's just like it's so silly. It's so lame. It's like we can see what this is a money grab. And I'm trying to be controversial. You're not being controversial. You're doing the lamest way to get clicks and views. It's lame. It's been done. And the sad part is that I really it's even really sadder is because you're supposed to be married to a black man. You're married to a black man, but you're pushing these women to date outside. So weird. But what can you say? Like I think Chaos said, there is a disdainment for black men. And that comes again all the way from slavery. Black men failed to protect them. And that resentment still permeates to this day because at the end of the day we didn't win. And we still continue to get our ass kicked. And they gotta and some of these women are tired of picking up the pieces. But again, even with that, their mind ain't right. And you're gonna go into these other groups of men with that same mindset that you're just happy to have somebody other than black, you're gonna find out real quick. Some of these men don't really like you like that. I know there's some who say they love you, okay, but they pandering. A lot of them pandering for some money. You're gonna find out real quick that pandering stuff ain't reality. So I mean, it's sad that Miss Pope is doing that, but it's like again, you're not focused on these women' mental health. It's like, no, just get married. That'll help. It's like, no, that ain't gonna help. Marriage ain't. Marriage should not be their goal right now. The goal should be trying to get mental health. Make sure they're good first, then go date, whether it's black or whatever, whoever. Make sure they're gonna be a viable mate. Now, the one thing about the bringing people to the table, and I had a thought about that table thing. The reason why I think a lot of these guys are saying, "What do you bring to the table?" And Miss Pope was talking about, well, they bring love, nurturing, compassion, all these different things. Okay, well, here's the thing: a lot of these dudes don't see that. They're not seeing it. So they're asking what you bring to the table because they're not seeing all these other factors. You don't have to tell me that you bring love, comfort, peace, nurturing, all that. I should be able to see that. So I don't have to ask you, what do you bring to the table? If I got to ask you, that means I don't see it. And if I don't see it, that means you're not displaying it, which means you more likely don't have it. Or it's so deep inside it can't be seen. That's a personal problem that you probably need to go work on as a woman. This Pope probably ain't gonna tell you that because she's thinking, well, if they just get married, all their problems are solved. That's not marriage is not gonna solve your problems. It's just not. It's not gonna solve black men's problems. If it's not solving black men's problems and they more married to black women, how the fuck is gonna solve black women problems? Weird. But uh, that's what they want to do. That's what she want to do. And what, what am I gonna do? All I can do is just look at it and be like, eh. Another one trying to get into the game. It's not working. And but there's some money to be made, and well, they want to make it. I'm like, what can I say? Other thing I was just looking at, like, you of all people, after you were told black women I ain't matchmaking with them no more. Now you're gonna try to matchmake with all these other races of men who don't need you to do that. If they want black women, they gonna go get them. Oh, they intimidated. No, they ain't intimidated, sweetie. They don't want you like that. Stop it. It's probably you need to be let helping these women focus on their mental health and worry about getting married. Because just like you said in that video, you needed help to get yourself together. Your husband needed help to get himself together. These women that you trying to preach to, they need their mental health, get their mental health together before they even think about getting into any type of relationship. So before they even do any relationship, you should be advising them to get their mental health in order. Go get a therapist. Actually learn how to control their desires so they don't go out there looking stupid. That's what you should be focused on. But what do I know? I'm just a black man who's seen this play so many times of these divestors and these guys who claim they support divestors, and most times they ain't really looking at the best interest of black women. They really not. They looking at the interest of their pockets. But what do I know? I'm just one who's not looking at their money, not looking at their beauty. I'm just like, I just see the play and just be like, hey, you've always had the access. You don't need anybody to tell you. Just go get them. But understand, one, you have a desire for black men that you need to conquer, and two, you need to get your mental health in order if you're going to go after these other races of men. And black men can't and won't stop you from dating out. No, black men are not going to stop you. Yeah, they might say something, they might shame you, blah blah, all that stupid shit. But again, black men don't have no power. So the only people that stopping black women from dating out is black women. That's it. So you trying to tell them, I'm like, it's no point. They've been doing it. They're gonna continue to do it. They don't need you to tell them. They just need to go do it. Just teach them how to do it effectively. But if you're not gonna teach them how to do it effectively, you just leading them into a boatload of problems. That really, if you want to say that black women are suffering this much, those other problems that you're gonna come into when you're dating outside your race, that's added problems that they're gonna have. Why you want to do that to them? But like I said, people want to pander. They don't care about your mental health. They don't care about what problems you might run into. They don't even want to explain it to you. They just want you to just run out there, get married, and look at me. I'm married. I'm happy. Well, if you were really happy, you wanted to preach a black women to be happier. Well, maybe you need to teach them how to do that. How'd you get your husband? How'd you get your life in order? Maybe teach that instead of trying to run them over to other races of men. That's just me. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. It's just my thoughts. I've been rambling enough. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is Brother Speak. I am out. Peace.